Welcome to video number 3, responding. We'll go over several things in this video. If it's already happened, who do you tell? Do you go to the school? Do you go to the cops? Are you overreacting? Do you tell anyone at all? And when you do tell them, what happens? What can you expect? What should you expect? How long should it take? What if you don't agree? Can you appeal? Yes, you can. So let's start with the basics. When do you go to the school? You go to the school if it's a minor incident, meaning there's no great bodily harm, nothing was stolen, nothing was damaged, but there still is a threat. You go to the school. Go directly to the principal or the administrator. Do it by email. Make sure there's a paper trail so you can track everything as it's going on. When do you go to the cops? Well, you go to the cops if there's a law broken. Was something stolen? Was something damaged? Is there stalking involved? Is there sexual or pornographic content involved? That goes directly to the cops. You also go to them if there's seriously like a bodily harm. There's a black eye, there's a broken arm. That goes directly to the cops. If there's a threat of violence or you feel there's immediate danger, 911. You also go to the cops if there's a hate crime. What does that mean? Well, that's federal and civil, and that gets the government involved. That violates civil rights. So that means any harassment or any harm based on race, religion, sex, national origin, sexual orientation, disability, age, things like that. That's a big deal. And remember, it can't be one isolated minor incident. It has to be severe, it has to be persistent or pervasive, and it has to create a hostile environment. So let's go over specifics. I live in Washoe County, and therefore I'm in Washoe County School District. So you can go directly to the principal like we discussed, or you can report it anonymously. There's different ways to do that. So there's secret witness. There's safevoice.org. And there's the school bullying website. You go to the school bullying website, wcsdbullying.com, you can report it anonymously. There's a little form that you fill out. It asks you the name of the person that was bullied, who did the bullying, and it's okay if you don't know their last name, the school where it happened, and there's a drop-down list. You just choose your school, a brief summary of what happened, and if you decide later that you want to put your name, you can. If you don't want to, it's okay. It's anonymous. It goes directly to the school's principal, and they do take it seriously, I promise. If you feel that it's not going to be taken seriously at the school, or you're afraid of retribution or anything like that, you can go directly to the school district itself, to the Office for Civil Rights Compliance. There's a lady there named Gina Sessions. She's very nice. She takes this very seriously, and you can contact her directly. So when does the school district have to do something? Well, they consider it harassment or bullying when it meets 3 criteria. 1, there has to be harm or a threat of harm. 2, it has to be unwanted. And 3, it has to be severe, persistent, or pervasive. We talked about that. So if they think it meets that criteria, according to the administrative code, they have to take any immediate necessary action to ensure the well-being and the safety of the involved students. So what does that mean? If it meets the criteria, they initiate an investigation. If it doesn't, an analysis goes on Infinite Campus. Parents here in Northern Nevada, we know what that is. So the investigation, what happens then? Well, if it meets the criteria that we just talked about, the investigation begins, and they have to notify all parents and guardians. They can do it telephone, in person, via email. When do they have to notify them? If the incident happened that school day and the school day isn't over yet, it has to happen by the end of that day. If it happens after school, on a weekend, on a holiday, it has to happen the next school day. After all the parents are notified, within 2 days, the parents and the kids involved have to be interviewed. After that interview, a written report has to be generated of the findings and the conclusions, and the parents are supposed to get a copy within 24 hours. The principal or designee, which could be the vice principal, it could be the counselor, then has 10 days from that time the report is generated to talk to everyone involved, to make sure that they're okay and to make sure the harassment isn't continuing. Keep in mind that the schools only have so much staff and they only have so many resources, so try to be patient. If you don't think the investigation or the resolution was fair, you do have the right to appeal. You can appeal to the area superintendent, but you have 10 days. And you have to give a reason. So the reason has to meet one of 3 criteria. 1, it has to be a procedural error, meaning some part of the procedure wasn't followed or one of the timelines was missed. 2, maybe there's new evidence. That's okay. That warrants an appeal, something that they didn't consider. Or 3, there has to be something that's not fair. So the consequence, the punishment has to be not fair, and you have to prove why. Then, that appeal, the area superintendent has 15 days to respond. So you have 10 days to submit it to the area superintendent, and they have 15 days to respond. What if you don't believe that the area superintendent has treated it fairly? You then have the right to appeal to the Nevada Department of Education. And keep in mind, this is pretty similar in most states. You go to the school district, then you go to the area superintendent, and then you go to the state Department of Education. So here in Nevada, the Nevada DOE or Department of Education has a safe and respectful learning environment office. They're the ones who handle this. Their contact information is here. You can contact them in many different ways. So you have to do that again within 30 days. If this harassment and bullying equates to suicidal behavior or severe depression or anxiety or self-harm like cutting or hitting themselves or not wanting to eat or sleep, things like that, you can call the crisis center. You can text them as well, or you can call the mobile crisis response team here in Nevada and they'll come to you. Cyberbullying and bullying is a big issue, and it's an important issue. 50 states have enacted anti-bullying laws to protect their victims. Each state is different. I included a link below where you can find specific information for your state and tips on how you and your children can respond to bullying. Thank you for watching video number 3. As always, comment below on what things you liked about the video and what things maybe I didn't include that you would like to learn about. Please join me for video number 4. I feel it's really important. We'll go over things like signs and symptoms of depression and anxiety and other psychiatric illnesses, and when to seek emergency care, when to seek long-term care, what are local and federal resources, and how you can advocate for your kids at different levels.